because everyone thinks they're invincible, especially the younger ones. I'm never going to get an electric shock. It's not going to happen to me. It does. There was 13 reported deaths. I think it was 30,000 different incidents, and that's what's reported. How many people don't report it? And you just don't know. So people might get a shock at work, not report it, and 2 days later keel over because it's affected the heart rhythm.
Especially Labour government talking about, is it 2 million new homes or something in this parliament? You've got to train another 30,000 people per year into the trades just to reach that target. The one frustrating thing that I've got at the moment is I have so many people that pretend to be business coaches, and you check them out on Companies House. These people never made any money. So we're back with another Trade Legends podcast, and I have another fantastic guest for you today, and I'm actually very surprised that he's made it, because I'll let him explain the story to you about how hard it has been to get to the studio, because you've had some troubles, haven't you, Rich, for 2 days. But just give us a little intro to yourself. Tell us about your business, what you do, where you're working, and just give us a little bit of background to you and how you came to be on the Trade Legends podcast. And then I'm going to get into your story that you've had with the trouble with the cars.
Right. So, enjoyed school. Coasted through it.
What's the name of the business first? Let's say.
Rich Cockerline Electrical.
Yeah.
Electrician. Mostly do life safety systems, which is fire alarms, disabled refuge, that sort of thing. I do what I call proper sparking as well, lights, power, gate and everything else.
Domestic or commercial?
Commercial, industrial.
Can't deal with the domestics.
It's just something...
It's so funny though when I talk to people and it's domestic or commercial, because I get it from both sides. But if I was to be a spark, I'd probably want to do commercial work myself.
I prefer it. It's bigger, dirtier, noisier. It's better. Commercial, when you're doing your shop fitting and stuff's a bit more interesting. But I did the domestic side in a previous trade I was in. So when I came into sparking and I got offered this job, because I'm a subby, so I sub mostly to one company, and that's the route they went down, so I've stuck with them, and I enjoy it. I'll never say never to domestic, but it's not my cup of tea.
You like me, just hate people. I'm only joking for everybody listening or watching.
Oh, no, the people that you have to deal with on site can be health and safety managers, everyone else is... Can be a nightmare sometimes.
Hopefully we don't have any health and safety managers watching this.
No,
HSE.
I'm a big advocate for safe isolation, which is health and safety.
I think electrics you need to be, don't you?
Yeah. You've got to, well, just working on site, you've got to be safe. Everyone wants to go home at the end of the day.
I mean, everybody moans about health and safety, but I think looking back even 20 years ago, like there's less injuries and, you know, anything like that's got to be a good thing, like you said.
Yeah, I wear knee pads because when I walk upstairs, I sound like a clockwork doll. My knees are shot. So I constantly have knee pads on. Just for my own comfort and just to try and prolong my working life.
Yeah. You just wish somebody had told you to wear knee pads at a lot younger age, don't you?
Yeah, you look at the older generation and you think, God,
it's when they walk bow-legged and you think...
Yeah. And I say to everyone, look, wear your glasses, wear your gloves, wear your ear defenders. I'm going deaf. I should have worn ear defenders a lot more, but I don't. You've only got one set of eyes. Put your safety glasses on. It's common sense, but it's there for a reason, isn't it, really?
I think when a lot of people go to work, these are the last things that they're thinking about. You're rushing.
Yeah.
And just one little thing can...
You want to get the job done. It's like, I can't be able to go and get my glasses. I'm just crying.
They're in the van.
Yeah. Safety squint.
Yeah. So give us a bit of backstory then to how you came to be where you are now, electrician. Obviously talked about previous trade.
Yeah.
Give us all the background story. I don't expect you to go back like some people have tried on here to say, I was 3 years old, had a toy screwdriver and always knew I wanted to be a carpenter or whatever. But just give us, you left school, were you academic, anything like that? Or
I went to college to study science and they shut the course down after 3 weeks because there was only 4 people on the course.
You don't have much luck here, Rich.
No.
Honestly.
So I had a choice. I could have gone down the nursing route or down the sport route because they were the courses that had got places left at college. So I did sports for a couple of years, which you can't tell.
Yeah.
But it weren't for me. So I did, as a side job, I was doing cutting grass, trimming hedges, things like that. My dad ran a nursery, growing plants. Yeah. And it got to the point where we decided we'd build his own. So we built his own nursery, displayed plants, showed plants all over the country, all the big shows. We grew rare and unusual herbaceous perennials, and we were pretty good at it. Yeah. We got good awards.
Could have been the next Alan Titchmarsh.
Well,
a bit taller.
Yeah, a better accent as well. Oh, no, yeah. So we did that, and the trade shows, or the big shows that went out to what made us money. And at the start, we were making good money with like one display, one stand. Towards the end of it, we'd have 3 or 4 displays, 2 or 3 stands, all at a trade show, and you were breaking even.
Oh, okay.
The cost of diesel was going up. The cost for people to get in to go, you'll know how much it costs to stand at a show.
Yeah. Well, even to book hotels or
and
restaurants.
you've got 4 or 5 staff there that you're paying to be there. You're feeding them. You get everything else, clothing them. It costs money. So we decided to close the nursery down. And my dad and granddad had both been decorators.
Okay.
So he said, I'm going to go back into that. If you want to come, I'll train you to be a decorator. So then I became the 3rd generation of decorators. Yeah. And we did that for several years. We had 2 Christmases where the customer came and said, all the other trades have overcharged. We're going to do the decorating ourselves because anyone can paint. I'm like, yeah, anyone can paint, but not everyone can be a decorator. Yeah. I mean, you had Russ and Kevin the other week, and they'll tell you, it's an art to be able to do it.
The thing that frustrates me is people look down the nose on any trade, especially, the university selects where they think, oh, well, you didn't go to uni, so you don't know what you're talking about type of thing. But then also within trades, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's crazy scaffolders or there's mad roofers, whatever it is. But I always think painting, especially now, is very underrated because a lot of people can paint, but like you say, there's not many people where you look at a finish or you look at what they've done and go, wow, look at that. And it just looks seamless. So for me, I feel like it's very underrated. A good painter, decorator, especially if you're like me, I renovate houses. Yeah. And the difference when you've got somebody that comes in, just does the walls, even if they're white, and you go, wow, completely changed the look of the house.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that...
They finish it off. Everyone else makes all the messing up. They've got to put everything back and make it look... Because that's all the client sees when they walk in. Like I say, they just say, wow, it looks brilliant.
But I would say plastering's underrated.
Yeah, that is a skill.
And painting, because, again, the painting won't look good if the plaster's just chucked on the wall. Yeah. And those two together have completely changed some of the developments we've done. Because I've gone round other people's to have a look and thought, when you're looking, you can see the light and you can see, and you think, who's like gang of monkeys have just painted that.
we did a house, we went in and they said, we've had it all re-skimmed. And 3 of us spent 2 days in one room, sanding all the walls down and refilling them because the plastering was that bad. It was all brand new. Yeah. It's a proper skill. So we decided between my dad that I would go back to college and pick a different trade.
Yeah.
So I'd be one of the first ones in and get paid before the decorator.
Yeah.
I went to college and said, I'm free these nights. What have you got? And they said, you can be a plumber or a Sparky. And I thought, do I want to play with pool or do I want to be a Sparky? So I went down the electrician's route. Yeah. 3.5.
I'm surprised we've got plumbers. And this is no disrespect to, again, Mark. Oh,
I tell you, I've got
play with electrics or
I've got lots of friends that are plumbers, and I think what they do is an amazing job. And heating engineers, that's another skill in itself, knowing how it all works. Yeah. So people do look down on, like I say, on the trades, but you've got to know what you're doing.
I mean, there's the thing I love about social media, and I always bang on about it on here, and people must think I'm working for Meta or TikTok or something, but I love watching people create things and make things where I go, didn't even realise you could do that, or look at that.
Social media's cost me a fortune because you look at people doing, they've done that, they use that tool. I want one of them. Or you're struggling to come up with an idea, and I know if I go on, say, Instagram and put out, anyone got an idea how can get around this or how to do this? Within half an hour, you've got messages. And you just think it's such a good place for learning and growing. but then the social side of it as well is great because all the different it's like when you go to install, you've got plumber social and all that.
Yeah.
Plumbers, again, they seem to organise stuff a lot better than Sparks do. People say that we bitch between us. We don't. We normally complain about the other trades. But we do have, we have our own little groups.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did 4.5 years of night school, going through all my different qualifications, and then spent 18 months trying to find a job.
Yeah. Apprentice first when you come out, or actually
no,
fully
straight onto site. Okay. So everyone would say, "What experience have you got?" Some shit up decorator, but working on site because all I'd done was domestic, really.
Yeah.
As a decorator, and I said, "I've not been on site and done anything." And
well, how do you get round that then? Because we have a lot of apprentices listening and watching to the podcast, but we also have people that are going back and retraining. Maybe they've been an insurance salesman or something.
I was 30, and you just pester people until they give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
And you just, any opportunity, if I was going down the road and there was a Sparks van there and they're coming out, I'd stop and I'd speak to them. I knew, for my daughter's school, I knew every dad that was in the trades. And you pick up and you say, do you know anyone know? Have you heard of? And you'd speak to them all. Yeah. And eventually, a dad from my daughter's dancing class said, my boss wants someone for 4 weeks. Yeah. That might be a good bit of experience for you.
Yeah.
So I started in November 2014, still with them now. Yeah. So that's the main company that I sub to.
Yeah.
That 4 weeks said, do you want to stop till Christmas? So I did November, December. He said, do you want to stop till end at job? And this was a new university that had been built in Sheffield. And it was pyro. No one does pyro. They don't teach it at college. And he said, can you do it? I said, I'll learn. I want to be on site. I want to learn this experience. You show me what I need to do, and I'll do it. And by the end of that job...
This is really before you've got probably people even to look at YouTube videos to see how to do
this.
Yeah,
I mean, we'd got... Well, yeah, when we were at college, we were just sort of like saying, oh, there's one or two people that are starting to put on YouTube. Nick Bundy was starting up and the likes of him. So you could then start looking at them. But if they're doing domestic stuff, it's not
commercial
relevant to me.
Yeah.
So it was hard trying to get in. But once I finally got with Duncan, was an amazing man. Anything you asked him, you could ask him 10 times and he'd just be patient and show you. Because if I didn't know it, he was happy to teach me it and show me it.
Yeah.
And I find that with a lot of the old boys on site still, if you go and say, even now, I might go up and say, I've not done this before, and they'll show you because they're happy to pass the knowledge on, which is what I try to do now. If someone comes to me, if I don't know, I'll find out for them. But if I can, I'll stop and I'll explain it.
I mean, it's really different with different trades around different areas of the country. Do you see many young people doing what you did when you were coming into it? Do you see many young people trying to get into the trades? Because we get people saying, oh, do you know anybody that's looking for an apprentice in Southend or something like that come through on the DMs and stuff?
I had a lad yesterday message me on LinkedIn. I'm looking for an apprenticeship. I'm local to your area. If you haven't got anything, fair enough. Do you know anyone? Can you just pass my name around? Can you share this post for me? So people are now going on LinkedIn and other places and trying to promote themselves.
Is there a website that...
Yeah.
For people to find apprentices?
I'm affiliated with one, Trades Board, it's called, and they try to put businesses, employers in touch with learners or people like in my situation where you're going to night school, but you need that bit of experience. And you can go on there and say, I'm free this week in April. Can anyone give me a bit of time? And someone might probably say, yeah, I've got 2 days work. Come with me and we'll show you what to do.
Because some courses you have to have you've had to have spent a certain amount of time doing the job, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, my next course and exam I'm doing in April. I've got to have got some certain qualifications to be eligible to get onto that. So it's just a case of building up. And I did anything that I thought would promote myself to get a job. So I did my first aid, my PASMA, my IPAF, triple STS, manager's ticket, anything that I thought would make me more
stand out.
Yeah. Because if there's two lads there that have both got the same electrical qualifications, but you've got them other bits, you're willing to turn up, you're willing to stay that bit later.
Even first aid. Somebody doesn't have to pay for somebody else to go on a first aid course.
So I did anything that I could just to make myself more
Eligible.
That's the word, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you go and start your work in 2014.
Yeah.
Talk us sort of through your journey then with your job, and obviously COVID hits as well, because
we were doing Amazons when COVID hit.
Yeah.
We were up in, it was either Durham or we were doing Durham and Darlington.
Yeah.
So all the Amazons,
big depots as well.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this job. The places I get to go and work, where Joe Public doesn't get to, the things you get to see. But yeah, COVID, we were in Amazon, and I had 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then they turned around and said,
construction
you're coming back.
Yeah.
So they bought a crew cab minibus, so four of us could sit in each corner, away from each other, and we were just driving up and down to Durham.
Yeah.
Through that. It was great because there's no traffic, and your social distancing didn't work on sites. After that, we went on to 2 new build hotels in Manchester towards the end of COVID, and that was the same. You've got 2 metre distance, and it didn't work.
That sounds quite interesting, because I mean, when I was running this place, I used to say to people, the whole enjoyment of here is the places I used to go to. Mercedes Formula One, we supplied products to them. Go to Asda NDC and abseil in from the roof over all the Easter eggs using a head torch to check for any defects on racking and stuff like that. But we got to do so many different things, and you've just said there, Amazon depots, hotels. What other sort of projects and stuff do you work on? Because again, I'm sure there's people listening and watching to this where they're thinking...
National Trust Properties.
Yeah.
That's great, because you get to move that velvet rope, step behind the beat and walk off.
I'm going to touch this.
Yeah. No, it's staff only, and I'm walking through there, and people are looking at you like, where's it? But
it's when it says, please don't touch, and you're like,
I did a monastery, a nunnery in York, that was a nunnery, a cafe, a museum, and a hostel. But right in the middle of it was a hidden chapel that had been built when Henry VIII was going around demolishing everything, so they could still worship. Yeah. And there was a little domed bit, and I was working above it, and I'm like, one slip, and I'm going through that dome, and like hundreds of years of
knowing your look.
Yeah. So I was like, right, I'll go that. Someone else go there. So yeah, I've done that. Food factories, we've done loads of food factories, which are quite interesting.
Yeah.
Watching how stuff is made.
Yeah. I love stuff like that. I don't know about anybody else, but when you go on an aeroplane, they've got like documentaries on. Like I watch about how Lego stuff's made and stuff. I love stuff like that.
Just in a factory that makes the foam for airplane seats.
Yeah.
Watching how that's made. So they do foam for airplane seats, trains, cars, and medical equipment.
Yeah.
So that was good. But at the minute, where I was yesterday, where I broke down, that's a scrapyard that brings in all the lead-coated copper cable for dismantling from all the BT stuff, and all the other cable comes up for granulation. So that's something that I've never seen, and everyone's in hazmat suits stripping all the lead. So when we go in there to work, we've got to wear all the gear as well. So it's something...
I mean, I love hearing stuff like that, because when I speak to people, a lot of people don't tend to talk about the work, especially commercial, because sometimes you can't talk about it. You can't take pictures of it either.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for people to talk about some of that stuff. But I love that, because, again, people looking at becoming electricians, you don't really know the difference sometimes with domestic and commercial. You know that one's residential. But
as Paul Meany says, it's the isms that you can go down. So any different specialism that you can go. So I've gone down the fire life safety route. You can go into data. You can go into UPS.
Which is going to be massive with AI.
Data centres are just getting crazy. But places that you can't go, I worked for BAE. We did their apprenticeship college in Barrow, where the nuclear subs are. We also worked on another one of their sites, which is the National Cyber Security Centre. So that was nothing electronic. If you had a vape, you couldn't have anything with a USB, nothing. So when you walk around on a normal site, you've got an iPad taking pictures of your work and everything, and that just gets downloaded and sent. They were walking around with disposable cameras that then got sent to them to develop.
To then forward the pictures back.
And like on a normal site, you could be one end of the site, I'd bring up and say, Have you got some 1.5 screws I can borrow? Yeah, right. Where are you? You go and get. There, it's like, where is he? Because you're not allowed your phone. You're not allowed walkie-talkie. So you could spend however long trying to find someone else to get the gear to do the job.
Yeah.
But that was tank ramps, so many sets of security to get through, armed guards and everything else. And it's like, just so they can look after the security of the country. I mean, that's interesting.
All of this stuff I find like fascinating, and that's one of the reasons why when I was doing this job, and I used to go to China and I go around factories. I went around like the BYD battery factory and places like that, and you see how things are getting made.
Yeah.
Because like if something ends up a battery in there, and you don't even think twice about it. You just go, oh, I'm losing battery. It's rubbish, blah blah blah. But you don't see the whole process in front of it. But I love the depth of stuff you can do now with electrics, with the advent of like solar and EV chargers, and then the stuff you're talking about. There's so many different facets now to
you don't need to be
work.
just a basic spark that just does power and lighting. You can go down, like looking at that, all the audio visual stuff.
Yeah.
I have friends and that's all they do.
Yeah,
is audio visual.
Yeah, that's big businesses, especially with like festivals and big corporate events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a friend, he did Glastonbury, and he stood there right in front of the stage, sending me a picture, and he's like, wow. And he said, yeah, I've got to look after these cables that are in front of him.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
He's put it all in, but then he's got to stop there for the festival, get paid, listen to it all, but still, if something goes wrong, he's got to be straight on.
He's there with a spare XLR cable.
Yeah, got to get it done. There is so many different things that you can do in this industry.
Yeah. And what's the difference then for you with like decorating and electric? I know they're two completely different things, and obviously you've probably still got a soft spot for the decorating because it's
I get my dad to do mine now.
Off you go, Dad.
Yeah.
But it's like again for somebody listening and watching that's maybe in between. Well, do I become a decorator, or actually now I've listened to you? Should I go and become a spark, or
try it all?
Yeah.
Once you've got that skill, no one can take it off you. Once you've learned how to do something, so I can decorate. I can be a spark. I can do basic plumbing, basic joinery. You work on site. You want to do something at home. There's someone on site that knows how to do it. You can go and ask them, pester them, and they'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And then because tradesmen cost a fortune, especially plumbers. So if you can do it yourself, you can save a bit of money.
Would you say plumbers are the most expensive trade? Because you know how everybody talks about Sparkies and the £50 notes, which
on site I would say it's your brickies and your dry liners.
Would you?
That probably.
This is going to be rage bait on the
I don't care.
on the thing.
I don't think Sparkies get anywhere near as much as people think nowadays.
But the thing with brickies, like if you look at the start of this year, they probably only worked 2 days, haven't they? So no wonder it's a grand per brick.
You've got to make it while you can with them, whereas at least we can work all year round. But I don't think that Sparks are up there. I think there will be some more of the specialist Sparks. I think some of them that are now going into commissioning, like with your lighting and your building control, things like that. Them that just sit, they've been on the tools, but now they sit behind a computer, type it all in, send it off, and the machinery does it. Or people that are into mechanical engineering for your factories that can work out how all the processing works.
Yeah.
I think they'll be earning a lot more. And so that's another specialism. If you can get down that route as an engineer.
These are all things, though, like where you're talking about them now, that I know that they exist because of the manufacturing background, but there's a lot of people listening and watching to this that will be like, I didn't even realise there was a need for that.
Yeah. I said this. When you watch credits at an end of a film, you look at all them roles, all them jobs. I haven't got a clue what most of them are. How do you know that that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
So it's the same with the trades. If you can get in, and if it's chippy, plumber, spark, but you get you in and start with your basic, then talking to people, it leads out, and you can say, I really enjoy doing that. I'm going to go down that route. Or I don't want to do domestic. I'm going to stay away from that. I don't want to do commercial.
I'll leave that to Nick Bundy.
Yeah, and you can just go down whatever path you need to, you enjoy, because there's no point being miserable at work. You've got to enjoy it. So take a route that you do. And I was 30 when I went from painting and decorating to retraining to be a spark. So it's never too late.
Just want to say a big thank you to Rhino Trade Insurance, who are now our official insurance partner. And to go hand in hand with that, they have given us a cheeky little discount code across all of their policies. So when you are filling out a form online and trying to get a quote or speaking with a team member, all you have to do is give the code Trade Legends to get an exclusive discount across all of their policies. One thing I was going to ask you, which I didn't ask you at the time, what did you do then in between that 18-month period that it took you to
was still on the tools working with my dad.
Yeah.
So we'd got a really good decorating business, and he just said, look, do it. He says, I'll just carry on my own. So I was doing that, and I was taking odd days off here and there, working for free. And I'd go off and I'd work for anyone for nothing to get that experience. And hopefully, by talking to people, going to the wholesalers.
You get offered something,
And it turned out, like I said, a dad from my daughter's dance school that dropped him. So you just never know. And also, you never know who you're talking to. So I was constantly, whenever it come up, you retrained to be a spark. Yeah, do you know anyone? And you just got to keep pushing.
Just like my mate at the jiu-jitsu camp.
Yeah, tell everyone what you are, what you do, and you never know who you're speaking to. I was on the Tools Awards last October, talking to this really nice bloke. We talked for about an hour, really good conversation. Ed of Snickers. I had no idea who he was, but he was really. And then we walked to him and said, well, "Do you know him?" I said, "No idea." And then I got talking to him again later on in the night after I found out who he was. I thought, right, I'll go and speak to him properly, because you just never know.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll give on the tools. So a big shout out to Lee and Adam and Mark over there. Is that award show, I find, is great because it brings a lot of people that wouldn't normally sit down with each other or cross paths into one room. And because it's not just, electricians, plumbers and like carpenters, it encompasses everybody.
Yeah.
It's a real great mix of people.
I was on the wrong table. I was on that. I should have been on that table.
Yeah.
Because Mark were on there. Chris Lowe was on there.
Yeah.
Joe.
Was that Tiffers, was it?
Yeah, Tiffers. Yeah. So
you don't want to be on his table.
No, I did, because they all won. that was one of the winning tables. Whereas my table, we didn't win.
Yeah.
So I didn't win anyway. But I was the first person to shake Mark Sanders as he got up to go and get his award, and it was a fantastic night.
I still remember because me and the sis, ironically, won our only ever award for Unilight that we ever won from On the Tools, which was PPE Manufacturer of the Year. And I remember when they called the name, obviously, because we'd been having a few drinks, as you do there, and everyone was like, "Oh, you two, you're up," and we were like, "What are you talking about?" Because we hadn't heard it.
Yeah.
And it took us about 15 seconds to stand up, and they were going, "Where are you? You two?" Calling us. I was like, "Oh God, that's us, that is."
Yeah.
But it's a great awards. So for anybody that hasn't been, that just wants to go.
Oh, if you get the opportunity, you've got to go.
Even because I think you can.
You can buy the tickets.
You can just buy a ticket. Can't you? What a night that is.
Yeah.
I haven't been for a few years, so I can't comment. But everybody that goes, always says
I was probably one of the only sober people there.
Which I don't know whether it's a good or a bad thing sometimes.
I made the decision to drive home at night because I was playing in a charity football match the day after.
Yeah.
I'm 47. Yeah. I'm not fit.
Not 27.
Yeah, so I thought, I don't want to have a skinful and then be trying to run around for an hour and a half the day after.
Yeah. Did you win the football?
My team didn't. Yeah. But, on the night, Joe was down there, Lewis was down. There were a few that played in the match that were, and they did have they were hanging the day after. They really were hanging. I made up for it that night afterwards, though. We went out round the town because it was in Barnsley where we played it. It was for my local hospice, run by OB1. Yeah. They were the ones that organised it all, and we had a fantastic day. Yeah. So I like doing stuff like that. It costs you nothing to give back for a day. I get to have a bit of fun playing football, but we raised a lot of money for charity.
Stuff like that's good when you can raise some good money for people. Is that something that you enjoy doing?
I talked to Joe.
He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's walking that he does every other month. I'm on that. I haven't got out with him yet because it always seems to be that.
Well, apparently, according to Russ, when Russ was on, this was a great story. He said, obviously they climbed. Was it Snowdon?
Yeah.
So they climbed that and went back down. And then when Joe got to the bottom, because he was doing that 5K a day.
Did another one.
It was like, Well, yeah, I've done that now. I've got to go and do the 5K, but apparently because he hadn't done the 5K from the day before, he then, after Snowdon, went and did 10K and then came back. He's an animal.
Yeah, he is. I've got all the time in the world for him. He's such a nice bloke.
Yeah. He's doing a resin driveway at one of my developments.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
I'd like him to come and do mine, but I need to save it up first.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it for free, Joe.
Yeah. There you go, Joe.
No, free advertising.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice when you can do something and you can give back. I did a lot last year and the year before, doing little giveaways and things for students, for apprentices. I wanted to give the stuff to the new lot that are coming on. I've been and done a couple of talks at colleges to new learners because you've got to get them. If they don't come into the trade, we're not going to have anyone to do it, and there's not enough people coming in.
I just find it so frustrating and a bit infuriating that at school, even still now, because I keep talking about, especially Labour government talking about, is it 2 million new homes or something in this parliament? You've got to train another 30,000 people per year into the trades just to reach that target. And it's like, why aren't we at schools now just saying, look, you're obviously not super academic. Get your maths and English, which is your basic requirement, and let's split like the last 2 GCSE years into vocational studies where you can learn a trade or some sort of service skill that you're going to learn, or even if you wanted to learn just AI and go into doing some sort of AI type of business, and then you've got your academic side.
It would be far better because they're just going to sit around and not do anything at school for them, and then they've got to go to college and do something. But they get a foot in the door, learning, like say, a trade or something else before they got to that age where they can go out and do it.
Because all I actually got given and recommended when I was younger from the careers advice or whatever it was, you remember it was careers advice at school, was to go into the army. They were They were like, there's nothing really else on this list for you. No. So it's, and I was like,
I got weatherman or travel agent.
I could see you in Thomas Cook.
Not with
or TUI.
Yeah. But no, but I've done the military. I did 4 years in the TA, in the Duke Wellington Regiment. That was amazing. Yeah. A bit like being on site. You get a group of lads together and a few lasses, and just.
Was that when you first came out of school then, or?
No, that was. How old? I just turned 18 when I did that. I was at a show, a plant show, and I just heard an advert on the radio saying there's a big weekend. All of the country TA are going to be recruiting. So I said, I'm off that weekend, Dad. I'm going to go do that. And he went, all right, signed up. And towards the end of it, I was ready to sign up and go regular. When I met my wife, girlfriend at the time, and I thought, I want to be serious. I want an house, a child, and kids, whatever, with this woman. So something I had to give. I was working 7 days a week.
They always scupper it, don't they?
I mean, I work 7 days a week on the nursery. So I was doing that and then taking time off for the TA. So I thought if I take the time off for Shan instead, it's better than that.
Well, it's worked out all right for
you. What are we? 20 years married this year, and. 26 years.
You get less for murder these days.
Yeah.
You do, though, don't you?
Yeah. But yeah, it was just one of them things. I mean, when I was in horticulture, we did work every day. Yeah. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, every day. You had to go in to check that the glass house was working, that the heating was on, the water had not
very similar to like farming work. Obviously not in the same context, but the actual hours and stuff that Yeah.
It's like with this trade, shut the van door, that's it.
Yeah.
You're gone.
You might do invoices or whatever, but it's not,
That's the other thing I like about being a subby. I haven't got... Having had my own business before, this is turn up, do my hours, put an invoice in.
And see you later.
That's it. I still do little bits, and you do think, you think, this job, I could do that. So you that job needs doing, you need to order this, whatever. And you sort of running it alongside them, but you haven't got that headache. Of thinking, where's the next job? I mean, we're pretty lucky. We've got work well into next year.
Yeah, because a lot of people, obviously, they qualify and then they go and work for somebody else. But in the back of their mind, or people are always saying, why are you going to work for yourself? And it's good to actually have somebody say, sometimes you don't need to go and do that because there's enough work for you to do this, which I think that puts people off maybe sometimes in trades thinking, I've got to go and
Yeah, you don't have to be self-employed. You can work for someone all your life, enjoy it, get enough money to live. You're not going to earn as much as them, but do you need to? It depends what you want out of life. I'm happy. I've been offered jobs for more money. I got offered jobs on the wind farms.
Yeah.
But he said the first 18 months you're out in Germany. Then after that, you're on the south coast of England, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And I said, I like being at home. I'm happy with what I've got. I'll stick with that. It's not all about money. It's work-life balance.
I think when you're younger, if you've got no ties, not a problem.
Yeah.
Once you've got a wife, kids, whatever, it's very difficult to sort of be like, actually, I want to spend time.
Yeah, I don't work away unless they're going to pay me or I really need to. If I was single and young, I would grasp any opportunity you can, because you just never know wherever you are.
Imagine like young, you get to go and work in Germany for a bit, and then you know,
getting paid to travel the world.
Great experience. But again, wind farms, something that most Sparkies, if they're qualifying, wouldn't think about.
Yeah, they all think about solar. Yeah, but they don't think about
EV chargers, like I said,
or
the battery installs.
You get the ones out in the sea now that are working off the current. Yeah, there's that many different things that you can go into. But yeah, it's going to be big renewables. But data centers, definitely, they're going to be huge.
Yeah, companies not thinking of doing that. There's a data center.
No, if we got offered, you see, we do like I said, we work for the likes of Chubb Fire.
Yeah.
So they'll spec a job and we'll go in and do it. So if they did say there's one, we'd go and do it. But it's, I suppose, the bigger, more exciting jobs that we do as a small firm, you wouldn't get. You've got to be of a certain size with a certain amount of clout to get that. Yeah. It's like you could now walk into, or Unilight could walk into Weeks as B&Q and say, "This is what we do." When you first started, they'd be like, "Who's Unilight?" Yeah. You're a little light that charges a fortune. Now you go in and they say, "Can we have you?" People are asking for them.
Well, I had a good conversation with Kev Paint Warrior when he was on, and he was talking about, obviously he started his brand of brushes, and he said, you know, he doesn't really promote them because he doesn't feel like he's not that type. You know, you talk to Kev and he's not like, oh, look at me type of thing.
He's down to earth, isn't he?
Quite a humble guy, and he said nobody really was interested. He says, I contacted the Duluxes, the Brewers, the Johnsons, or whatever it is, Leylands or whatever, and he said nobody was interested. And then he said when people started seeing him on social media, and that resonated with me because certain brands, certain companies didn't give me the time of day. Obviously, Unilight blew up on social media, which was the Gymshark used to be just down the road, so I sort of copied that playbook a little bit. And we had loads of people contact me, and in the end, some of them I was like, well, you weren't interested before, so you know, and it gave me great satisfaction. But before, you'd think everybody looking at the company now, you could just walk straight in there, but it happens to everybody, and you just have to find a way to change the trajectory. But it was so funny listening to him, and he was like, oh yeah, now I've got stands in Dulux, or I've got stand in Brewers, or wherever it was, and I was like, fair play.
Yeah, that little bit of recognition on social media and people. So I've not got a huge following. I'm not massive on it. I enjoy it. I do it because I enjoy it. I like making a bit of content. I'm not the best. It's rough and ready, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So when people invite you on things like this, it's brilliant because you can talk to people and more people see you. And I now work with 3 brands, but you'll not see me on their socials because I'm behind the scenes. I'm testing and developing. I'm not the brand ambassador like Tiffers is for you. Another Unilight, 50% off.
He loves it, doesn't he?
But
he loves it.
He's there.
Yeah. I think certain people are a certain like Bundy was the same. Bundy was the Mark Tiff of electrics.
Yeah.
He could be talking in a video and then goes, oh yeah, just by the way, you get 30% off with the code that's in the and then he carries on again.
Yeah. So, but from seeing different things and being recognised and going on stuff, companies talk to you. I did some with a local company. They're only at Shirley, just up the road from here. And I did some video stuff for them. And I'm like, why are you asking me? It's because you're just on the tools. You're just a normal person. You're not a huge face. Yeah. People can see you and say, yeah, he's just a normal lad doing his job. But I explained what they did, and it was, I loved it.
Yeah. Sometimes the bigger you get, actually, the less trust you've got, because people just think they're shilling something because they're getting paid.
I've seen some people that 1 week this brand, and then a month later
they're another brand.
And then they're another brand, and it's like, I've picked my brands that I use because I like them, and if people want to send me bits, I will be honest. If I like it, I'll tell you I like it. If it's
shit.
Not very, if it's shit, I won't go out of my way to say it is, but I won't post about it. I'll just go back and say it's not for me.
Well, ironically, one of the reasons the business took off was I sent products to PB first.
Yeah.
And I still remember him coming through, and he was like, "Can I be honest with you?" He says, "The majority of it's like plastic. It just feels cheap to me." And I was like, "Right, okay." I said, "Well, any recommendations?" He says, "It needs to be made out of aluminium," because there was another company called Scangrip that made stuff out of aluminium. I ended up going and buying a whole. Yeah.
How long have I had that's one of yours?
That's not one of ours.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yep.
Unless it's all come off.
It's all come off. I've had that years.
H3FL9R. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
That lives
I
in.
Didn't even recognise because of this round.
Because the things come off where the USB goes, so it's a bit of tape.
It's the FL11R. I thought it was the 9R. Look at that. I couldn't even recognise my own unit. Like
that's the tape's round it just because the little yellow bits come off where the USB is.
So
and it's just worn and worn away because that lives in my pocket 7 days a week.
Bloody hell.
That's old.
Yeah.
But they stand.
Normally, ladies and gents, if you can see that, it's fully black.
Yes.
So somebody's going to comment now and say, "Shit paint job."
But I bet I've had that.
So the
8-9 years.
The original one we brought out was the FL9R, and that was 900 lumens, and then that's the successor to it, the 11R.
11R,
I would still say 7 years ago, something like that. Because I've sold the business almost 3 years ago now.
So I got that when they came out.
Might even be long, yeah. It might even be longer than that.
It's like the little, is it SP750? The little microphone that's got it's a little speaker. I had that on pre-order before they came out.
Yeah.
And I'm on my second one of them now.
Yeah. Well, there's a new version coming apparently.
And that lives in the pick. I would show you, but I don't have my pickup with me.
Yeah. Should we tell them the story about the pickup? Yeah. Just for context. So obviously I mentioned earlier that Rich was he had a bit of pickup troubles yesterday.
I work all over. Like I'm based in Barnsley, so that's up there in Yorkshire. I come down as far as Leicester, Llandudno, Wrexham, and then up to the Scottish borders is what I travel.
Yeah.
London, Scotland, I stay away. But that's my so this week, I'm working just around the corner from Beamish Open Air Museum near Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I drove up yesterday morning, 2-hour drive, just got off the A1, and the pickup lost all its power. So it was like limp mode, 15, 20 mile an hour to get to site. Rang up the recovery people, I'll not name the brand because I'm not happy with them.
Basically told you it'd take 2 days to get the car
back.
Yeah.
If I wanted to come home with the vehicle, it'd be early hours of this morning, and this was from 10 o'clock yesterday morning, or they'd get me a courtesy car to drive myself home, and then they'd get my car back to me within 5 days.
Yeah. If anybody's listening or watching, because I found this story fascinating, that obviously it would take so long to retrieve.
It's a 2-hour drive. It's 116 miles from site to my house.
Has anybody else had it where they've basically broken down and then told you get your car back in about 2 years?
Yeah. and if I wanted to come home with the car that night, it would be 3 different drivers.
Mm-hmm. You may as well have hitchhiked out.
Well, I said to someone, it would have been cheaper for me just to get a taxi home and then drive up with a trailer and bring it back myself. But you pay your money to these. I just
feel like since COVID, I feel like the whole place has gone to the wall, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So God knows what's happening. But if anybody else has got a story like that where they're broken down and basically got told,
and then I nearly didn't get here this morning. Then on the way here, I've borrowed another vehicle that the dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree as I was driving down with warning lights and everything going off. Yeah. So I've managed to get here. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I get home tonight. You get time.
So if anybody else ever turns up or doesn't turn up and uses that excuse, I'll use Rich as the yardstick for getting here. So.
Yeah, I got my Uber tax booked just in case.
Yeah.
I will come in with...
Don't jinx it though, because I swear the look's bad.
No, because I've said to people, I said, you're a bit younger than me. Do you remember TFI Friday?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So I remember watching that when I was a kid and thinking, the people that are on that have made it. And that's the way I see Trade Legends. If you get onto here, you've sort of made it. Yeah. So when you asked me to cut and said, I'm not.
I'll take
not
that.
coming.
I'll take that.
So you'd be the Chris Evans. I don't know if that's an insult.
I'll have his cars though. He's got a good car collection.
He's got a nice car collection. Yes,
I'll take that. And he used to have a few tasty girlfriends. As well,
he's had quite a few women, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But
probably more than me. Probably more than me.
Yeah,
smart man. But what we tend to do around about this time is I also want to get some sort of advice from you, or you can talk about something that's of big interest to you, whether that's your charity stuff or whatever it is, or even like you can wax lyrical to the younger generation of like something with a bit of knowledge. So we try to extract something from you and pass it to somebody else. But it could be it could be like you saying, look, I tried for 18 months to get a job. Don't give up. Like, this is what you need to do. You've got to be persistent. It could be absolutely anything. So I'm going to pass the floor to you. It's a bit like, you remember Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
The final thought.
Yeah. Well, if you look at my logo, it's a padlock. Look up on your shelf, there's a padlock that I've snuck up there.
I like that, actually.
I've proclaimed myself. People have now started calling me Mr. Safe Isolation, which is, and when people say, what's your job title, I put Electrician, Safe Isolation Ambassador. I'm passionate about making safe isolation more widespread. More people need to know. Everyone, you have to do it as part of your training. You have to do it, but when you get onto site, it goes out the window because everyone thinks they're invincible, especially the younger ones. I'm never going to get an electric shock. It's not going to happen to me. It does. I've had a few belts, and through no fault of my own, and then I've had stuff where, I should have isolated it. So I've been, for the last few years, I've been going out to the trade shows like Elex and other things on a stand, promoting safe isolation. I promote it on my socials. I'm in different groups promoting it. I'm hopefully trying to get some sort of safe isolation kit. Like Josh down in Australia, he's got his lockout and live. He's a full-time spark, but promotes safe isolation, and he's started this brand up, which is amazing. And if I could copy what he's done over here, it'd be fantastic. Because your dad will know when they go into if they went to your dad's property, they isolate everything. They're not going to go in that roof void or in the under void until all the power is off. Whereas here, you go up and start snipping away and working. So I want to try to promote safe isolation and get everyone out. So if you're a new starter, you need a basic kit's not a lot of money, but you need a kit. You need decent voltage indicator, proving unit, just to keep you safe.
Would you say for you that's one of the most vital bits of equipment then for any young spark?
Yeah, because I'm more commercial and industrial. When we go onto a factory, they will have the safe systems and work, and they will have a board up with all the lockout stuff on. So before you work on any bit of machinery, it's got to be locked off. It's got to be tested. It's got to be proved dead. Then you can work on it. So it is. Everyone wants the Veto bags, the Unilite, your CK snips, whatever. But they don't think about something so basic as a padlock, a little lock-off device, and some test equipment, which at the end of the day,
it's going to
save your life.
No one cares if you've got a 300-pound tool bag if you're brown bread.
And if you get that tool bag, you can put your safe isolation kit in it. But people just don't, and it's more domestic sparks, unfortunately, because they're working on their own. You have an accident at work on site, it gets reported. You have an accident in...
Probably liability insurance as well, isn't
it? You're working in like Mrs. Smith's house and you'll get a belt. You're not going to, you might tell your mates, but you're not going to report yourself to HSE. So all these little accidents don't get reported. I think 24 to 25, there was 13 reported deaths. And I think it was 30,000 different incidents. And that's what's reported. How many people don't report it, and you just don't know. So people might get a shock at work, not report it, and 2 days later keel over because it's affected the heart rhythm, but they feel fine at the time. So I bang on about it all the time. There's a campaign, Safe for September, which is for when the new starters start college, to try and get them into it. There's a few Sparks out there and a few brands that are that get behind it and promote it the best they can. So I just think it's health and safety. It's boring, but it's going to save your life.
I mean, will you be installer this year, doing stuff around that,
There aren't any stands happening this year, unfortunately. It costs money to do it. I volunteer my time for free, so to go to these shows, stand there, drive there, it doesn't. I'm going to try and get to install, and I'll be walking around with my T-shirt, and I will be telling everyone that I speak to.
I've got, I think, Lucy's number, she books guests.
Lucy Dixon.
Yeah. So maybe
I'll
it's worth.
Speak to Lucy.
Maybe it's worth even doing a talk on some of that stuff.
I'm actually down for an ambassador at New York installer and new build. Yeah. I'm not going out there, but they put me down as one of their ambassadors for fire and safety.
So even at the show, just being able to sit and talk about it. So if somebody wants to come and sit and listen, you've got that.
Yeah.
Because Lucy's pretty good with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Lucy.
Yeah. I only met her for the first. I've spoken to her for a few years through different social, but I only met her. Last year was
she's a good egg.
She's really nice, isn't she?
Yeah. And she'd probably help you with sorting that out.
It's this year. It's going to be. You've got Rachel and James are Stone. It's the craftsman. It's the craftsmanship. That sort of trade. It's not like last year. You got a lot of carpenters and that doing stuff at install. This year it's going to be craftsmen. So fingers crossed. Maybe next year, Lucy, if listening, could do with electrical.
I reckon she'd sneak you in this year.
And do something.
She'd sneak you in.
Yeah.
I might drop her a message after.
Yeah, but it's something, and for them that are new to trade, just keep going at it. No question is stupid. Keep asking, keep pestering, and
that's another thing though.
Don't get your parents to do anything for you.
Yeah. When you're young, you feel like, if I ask this, am I going to sound dumb? Always ask I ask too many questions. People get pissed off with me, but I don't care because I think
it's the only way you're going to learn. I would rather someone come to me half a dozen times and say, "How do I do this?" and me have to keep explaining it, than them go off and think they know how to do it
and end up
doing it wrong. Because then you're going to have to fix their problem. And I've done the same. So how do I do this? And then you might not do it for 3 or 4 months, and then you think, I can't. How do I? You go, just remind me how I do that. Just keep asking. It's the best way. You only learn from your mistakes.
So safe isolation.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask a question.
Yeah.
Two good bits of advice.
And then you never know. You might end up on the tools. I never expected to be nominated for Electrician of the Year.
I mean, a lot of people you didn't just to be nominated for the award.
Yeah.
I mean, I always said to the sisters, do you know what? Because we were up against. What's that Irish workwear brand? It's like a big Irish workwear brand, and we were up against another company that does stuff for like the rail network or something like that. And I never expected to win. I was like, I'm just happy to be here. It's a good night out. But just to have a little bit of recognition finally for something you do is. Speaking
of Irish, you've mentioned them on here before. Keith and Stephen Insight, the Strip Back podcast.
I've been trying to get them to come over for a day out.
When I told them that I'd been nominated for On the Tours, they said, "That's brilliant. We don't have anything like that in Ireland." So I just said, "Do one." And I said, "Do one. Start your own." And so they said they'd been thinking about something like that, and then I said to them, "Do it." So they come away, and last year they had the first Irish Trades Awards, and I won International Personality of the Year.
That's good.
And I was up against some big names. You've got Derek Barrett, Kim and the Sparks.
He's Irish royalty, and he old big desert.
You just think they're up there, and there's me down here, but it was voted for by his peers. And apparently, it was in the end it was down to me and Derek, and I bet him by 7 votes. So it was very close, and I honestly did not think I would. I was like saying again, I was happy just to have been nominated, and then to get into the final 4 was, and then to win was.
No. I think anything, because
fantastic.
again, Kevin Russ have got their own painter decorator awards.
Yeah, Russ won last year, didn't on the tools.
So they're actually doing their own one in Milton
Golden
Keynes.
Finish.
Yeah. So stuff like that, I think anything where you can sort of elevate the trades and industries.
Yeah, and
I
the
think
way they're doing it with, is it 24 different, I think 24, 25 different kinds. So they're going to, that's the same again, you go into paint and decorate, you just think, oh, I'm slapping a bit of paint on the wall. There's that many different avenues you can go down.
Yeah.
And they're covering them all.
But this is one of the, because people always say to me, why did you start the podcast? Admittedly, it was to try and get some more knowledge from everybody that came on to help develop products or whatever it was. But it was more, I like to speak to people to find out about them. Obviously, Mark talks to people from a trade perspective. I'm more of a business perspective. But I love racking people's brains about, what they think, or everybody's got a different viewpoint, or the stuff that's going on. I just think all the stuff that's going on in the trades now, these different type of awards, things that you can do, different types of painting, whatever it is, electrical work. I just love it, absolutely love it, and that was one of the reasons why I started doing this.
But you pass your knowledge on, because I follow your trading account on Instagram, and the stuff that you put out there.
I haven't put anything on for a while, because I get asked questions, and do you know the one frustrating thing that I've got at the moment is I have so many people that pretend to be business coaches that follow me, and I've had people complain about some of these people. They actually follow my page. And I keep trying to say to people about this business coaching stuff, because I offer people business coaching, but I tend to charge a flat fee for the month. I plug into your business, and basically each time that we check in with stuff, it's a bit like a PT. I'll give you stuff to go away with. This is what I've done. This is what you should be doing. These are the things that you need to do. But I watch so many of these business coaches, and you check them out on Companies House. These people have never made any money.
Yeah.
And it's like people can go and check me out on Companies House, and you see all my company accounts. I can't hide it.
Yeah.
But God, there's some people out there now where I think, they've never even run a business.
Yeah.
Because I look and I think, this person's there shilling stuff, and I think so many people just getting taken for a ride on. That's
the problem. We go to college as a tradesman, and we train and learn to be a good tradesman.
They don't teach the business side.
No. Yeah. They could do with doing, now you're qualified as that. You're now going to teach you how to do your accounts, your VAT, how to invoice, what to charge.
Yeah. But this is where I feel like, like the software companies that you can get. You've got your Powered Nows, your Tradifies, you've got your Zero accounting software, you've got your Tide Business Banking. Some of these brands should be going into colleges and saying, look, you've learnt all that now. This is how we can help you. And then sort of everybody's coming out of there thinking, I'm not daunted by doing quarterly tax returns that you've got to all do now. Because that's...
And if you, I was lucky that I learned from my dad. But if you haven't got that person to learn from...
Who do you learn from?
It's just asking people. But then that brings you back to socials. You ask, there's lots of people in there that we can now say, how do you do this? How do you do that? Alex, Eriot Carpentry, ask him a question and he gives you an honest answer whether you like it or not. And he will tell you and help you. Because I've done it with stuff. And asking a silly question. I've asked him some silly... I thought, 100% sure, and I've asked him about him, and he's laughed at me and then said, this is how you do that. Not like that. But if you don't ask, you don't know. And there's people out there that will help you if you can. So if anyone wants to ask me anything, I will help you if I can. If I can't, I'll try and find out.
I've always tried to, if somebody comes through to me, try to respond and say, this is what.
You've responded to me at stupid o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I've sent it and thought you'll see that in morning, and then it's like, it's still up at this time. And what we do, I have several people that you think, I'll just drop a message before I go to bed so they'll see it in the morning, and then. Before you've shut your eyes, they've responded to it. So everyone must be up at silly hours,
That's all good. But no, I want to say big thank you for coming on, because trying to get here was a nightmare. Hopefully it's been worth it for you to come on. I've enjoyed it. And I just want to say a quick thank you to Rich for coming, because if you'd have seen the conversation between us for the last 2 days, it's been like... you know, and I've sat there thinking, if he doesn't turn up, I can't knock him because, God, you've had, it's been a stressful time. But for anybody listening and watching, do us a big favour as well. I'll put your social links in the comments, but give us a follow on social media, a like, a subscribe. All of it helps massively, and it just enables us to continue getting guests on like Rich and promoting the trades and trying to help people to do better at their job. So big thank you to everybody that listens and watches.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for getting down there, touch and go. So thank you very much, mate.
No problem. Thank you.